What is up, guys? John Anthony from masculinedevelopment.com, and today I'm going to make a video about your purpose. Okay, so I'm sitting here drinking my pre-workout before I hit the gym, and I got a question from Winston Wolfe. And he asked this on my YouTube channel in the comments section, and here's what he said. What I'd love to hear about from a dude like you who hit his stride so early is about finding a fully enthralling purpose if I have no clue yet. Women are rewarding, but I've low-key been improving just for the sake of women, and that leaves me empty and rooted in external validation. So, first off, big mistake, right? You should never improve yourself just for women. And understand, too. So, I like to go very deep in my videos, obviously, because, surface-level information isn't very helpful. But what you need to understand is that every perspective, every viewpoint, it serves a purpose in some way. Okay. And here's what I mean by this. So you probably, like many of us, got into self-improvement and, game and success and whatever else because you wanted more girls, right? That's usually where it starts. And in that sense, that's actually a good thing, right? And it's normal, right? I mean, I think of, when I was like 18 or 19, I was so motivated to get some hot pussy that it was like that was my thing. It was like, I'm gonna make money for this, I'm gonna get jacked for this, I'm gonna build my life around this, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's useful, right? But like you said, if you do that for too long without having a solid purpose as a man, it's not very fulfilling. And so if you don't have a clue where to start, that's good, because you make the biggest breakthroughs in your life, right after you're at your most confused. Okay, so there's a cycle that we all go through, and it starts off with, you think you know everything. You think you know what you want, and maybe you do, right? You want more pussy, you want more girls, that's what you want, right? And then, you build a model of reality to understand that, and you operate in reality based off of that model, right? But then what happens, like you said, is it's not fulfilling. So then you're confused, right? Was I living my life the wrong way? How do I reconcile this difference in what I want and how my current lifestyle and model of reality isn't giving me what I want? And the answer is you start small. Okay, so as a man, you will derive purpose from many different things in life. The biggest one, I think, is work. Another big one is giving back to your community. Another big one is having friends and family and meaningful relationships with people that you love. And this is turning out to be a pretty deep video about lifestyle and purpose, but that's what you have to do. And so keep in mind, too, you don't have to start off thinking that you need this ultimate great life's purpose, because you really don't. It's very tempting for us to think that we need to have some gigantic purpose, right? And eventually, I think that's the goal. Eventually, I think that that's something that most men will reach if they stay on this path long enough. But when you first start off, you don't need to have that, right? When you first start off, when Gandhi or Alexander the Great or whoever, when they were, 15 or 16, do you think they knew what their purpose was going to be? For Gandhi to free to free India from the British Empire, for Alexander the Great to conquer, the eastern unknown lands and the eastern unknown world? Of course not. They didn't know, right? But they knew what they wanted then and there. They had a purpose then and there. So don't think of your purpose as something that's this gigantic thing that, it's never going to change, and that's that. Think of it more like you're going to have these little micro purposes throughout your life. And once you go through that process of accomplishing goals, which, by the way, goals are just really mini purposes, they're micro purposes. Once you go through that process of conquering enough goals, you refine what you want, you refine who you are, you have the resources where you're not going to be motivated by base instincts like wanting more sex or wanting more money for safety, and you're freed up to focus on a greater purpose and a greater vision. And so that's what you need to do, Winston, is if your money isn't where you want it to be, then work on that. If your, sex life isn't where you want it to be, work on that. And ultimately, over time, you will gain a skill set to succeed in these different areas. You'll gain a skill set to succeed at business. You'll gain a skill set to succeed with women. And you'll gain a skill set to succeed in life. And what will happen is, again, you'll refine that purpose. So start small. You don't have to, sit around and not take any action for the next year and a half because you're just trying to find yourself, right? The truth is that you create yourself. You don't find yourself. You create and you develop yourself, hence masculine development. You develop who you are by facing struggles and facing challenges, by making mistakes, and by encountering different situations that push you. And so the best way to find your purpose, to, develop yourself as a man, to find your purpose, to be fulfilled, is to reach your full potential. And you do that by encountering different situations, experiences in life that push you and force you to change and to grow. Okay, so hope this helps. Again, that's a really big and phenomenal question. How to start finding your purpose, where to start. But the thing is, man, start small. Figure out some little thing in your own life that isn't where you want it to be, and then fix it. And then find another thing in your life that isn't where you want it to be, and then fix that. And what'll happen is once you start to get your own life to the point where you want it to be, once your cup is filled, to put it in ancient biblical spiritual terms, once your cup is filled, it will start to overflow and your focus will shift. And that's when you begin to find your greater purpose. Because when your own life isn't handled, it's not going to be possible to find a bigger, greater purpose because your own life isn't handled. But once it is, you start to say to yourself, oh, I'm pretty happy. I've got money, I've got a girlfriend, I've got family and friends. How do I change the world? How do I gain fulfillment? How do I make a bigger impact on reality and on the universe and on the world that we live in, right? So, Maslow's hierarchy of need. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I need some more caffeine. It was a long night 2 nights ago. I actually had a threesome, which I'll make a video on pretty soon. But Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you don't have, your base needs met, it's hard to find your purpose, right? And I recommend you look that up. Read into that. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. MASLOW''S. Maslow. Abraham Maslow was a psychologist who talked about, how to find your purpose in life. And what he concluded, dramatic sip and pause. What he concluded was that on the base level, you have your needs for physical safety, right? So water, food, shelter, etc. Then you have your sort of physiological needs, I believe, which is like, you need money, right? So you need money to, have resources to live, sex, etc. Then you get up to, relationships. And then I could be wrong, but I believe it's like this, right? You get up to relationships, so you want to have meaningful relationships, friendships, family. Then you get up to the self-confidence point where it's, am I doing the right thing in my own life? What do my peers think of me, right? I want their respect. I want to, be a valued member of society. And then you get to your purpose. But until you get those base things handled, it's going to be really hard to find your purpose. So make your purpose right now, getting those base things handled and having fun along the way. Get your health handled, get your money handled, get your sex life handled, right? Get the basic things handled, and then your purpose will develop and grow and, expand and become more refined until you find something that really turns you on, charges you up in the morning, makes you want to wake up early, puts your soul on fire, and that breathes life into your life so that it's better and more fulfilling, and then it makes you happy. So hope this helps. Keep in mind, again, that it's not necessarily a bad thing to improve for women because that's how pretty much all of us start off. But, you're going to reach a point where you realize it's not really fulfilling. You have to do it for yourself. You have to get the basic shit handled and then move up and move on, refine that purpose until you finally get to that thing that really charges you up and turns your soul on fire. So hope this helps, guys. Please subscribe if you like my content. Again, masculinedevelopment.com. You can check out my products and the links down below. And I will see you guys next time.